And
There's so much relation.
Yeah, and then it developed from catch wrestling into luta livre in Brazil. So if you don't know, I'm a black belt also in luta livre. It's a no-gi grappling style in Brazil, very similar to jiu-jitsu, but different in spirit. Same in, like, for example, luta livre, like in jiu-jitsu, heel hooks for me is not a jiu-jitsu technique. I refuse to call it a jiu-jitsu technique for the sake that
Which move you're saying?
heel hook, the heel hook.
It's not jiu-jitsu?
I don't call it jiu-jitsu, even though a lot of jiu-jitsu guys are using it.
Yeah.
Because
it's like a popular move nowadays.
But until 2020, I think, or 21, it was illegal in every jiu-jitsu federation.
I see.
So how do you call it a jiu-jitsu technique? But if you go to catch wrestling, luta livre, these guys do it since they were white belt, and they've done it long before jiu-jitsu. Even though jiu-jitsu guys now specialized in it and refined it and done
gone far behind.
But it's not even approved in Jiu-Jitsu Federation. Like, it's not an...
Really, huh?
It wasn't an accredited move by Jiu-Jitsu because it's dangerous, so we don't do this. And I know a lot of high-level black belts that had no idea how to do a heel hook, Now people who are following the trend or no-gi grappling, there is awareness towards heel hooks. But if you want 3 years ago, not even 5 years ago, like 3 years ago...
It's recent.
It's very recent. Very recent. People start, we have to train heel hooks, like... In ADCC, heel hooks were allowed, but ADCC is not a biased grappling.
Yeah, it's like open.
It's open. You're a wrestler, you're a catch wrestler, you're a sambo, you are a luta livre guy. Like,
it's a mix.
So in luta livre, like, they focus a lot on submission. Like when you train with the luta livre guys, pure luta livre guys. For me, I tell you, I'm not biased because I use what works for me. I learned jiu-jitsu, I learned luta livre, I learned wrestling. So like I do what. If it works for me, I'll use it. Whether it comes from Kung Fu or from where,
Okay.
But if you go, like, for me, I don't roll like a pure anything. Like, even a lot of guys who roll with me is like, I know I haven't rolled with anyone like your style because his experience are with pure guys who come up from a jiu-jitsu background. So my style is very different than other typical black belts you see. I'm not saying I'm better than the rest. I'm just saying I have a different style. But I have, like the jiu-jitsu control because luta livre is all about submissions. It's all about submissions. Like they care less about points. Like for them, if I don't submit you, I'm not better than you,
Really?
That's how they look at it. Like even that they have points, but they go a lot of, like they're very good in submissions that do not require like control. For example, to be good in an armbar, especially from top position, you need to be very good at passing the guard, very good at transitioning to the mount, keeping control of the mount, then going for the armbar. But to be good at leg locks, you don't need position to be good at leg locks. You don't need a mount or side control, So luta livre are good in these things, like guillotine. You do not need to be in mount to guillotine someone. You can start from
straight
here,
away,
boom. And they're very good, and they some of them have like incredible mechanics. It's a shame it's not more out there. Like I've trained with some guys, they changed my game. Like for the guillotine, Darce choke, anaconda chokes. Like I always ask my students who ask me what's the difference between luta livre and jiu-jitsu? I say, look, like even some guys who are very experienced, purple belts, brown belts. I say, how many times were you in the gym and your coach showed you how to defend a Darce? The class was a Darce defense or anaconda defense. You probably never back. And luta livre, this is 101 for them. For them, defending Darce's, attacking and defending Darce's anacondas
same time
is like white belt stuff for them, Like I always say with luta livre guys, if I train in Brazil, when I went to pure luta livre gyms, it's easier to pass their guard because they don't train a lot of guard. They train a lot of jumping on things, Right. But it was harder to submit them because they see a lot of these submission coming from a mile away. With jiu-jitsu guys, it's hard to pass their guard, but it's easier to catch them in some of these submissions, because they haven't seen them before. Like even a world-class black belts are not a lot of them are good in these submissions, It's crazy. Like
I think maybe it's
because jiu-jitsu rewards so much for passing the guard and mounting, etc., etc. And there in jiu-jitsu,
mostly positional, not just.
In jiu-jitsu, like they always say, in jiu-jitsu you're taught position before submission.
Yeah.
In luta livre, it's like 50-50. If you see a submission, even if you don't go for it, even if you might risk losing the position, if you feel it's a solid attempt, If you genuinely believe there, go for it. Even if you might lose position. So they're more risk-taking people. But that doesn't translate well sometimes to MMA. Because in MMA you need
I
to
was about to
sometimes...
ask you.
Yeah, like I don't preach only luta libre, like, oh, like all my guys know, like I talk about this, but I don't preach like, oh, do luta libre 100%. I'm like, no, we do what works for us. If you're doing MMA, you need control more than submission. But it's good to have that submission instinct. Because sometimes you're gonna have one opportunity and boom.
Yeah, you should not miss it.
Like if you're good in a guillotine doors, you can hit it off a sprawl, and you can hit it on black belts if you're very good at it. Because in black belt, the hardest thing to do against a black belt is passing his guard, is getting side control, is getting the mount, is getting his back. But if you can sprawl and off a sprawl lock a good submission, tight submission, you can catch a lot of black belts in these positions, So like, I know one of my friends, like he fights in the UFC. His name's Carlston Harris. He just submitted in Dana White Contender series one of Habib's guys in an anaconda choke. I knew it was coming. I trained with this guy.
Really? Huh?
And he submits everybody with an anaconda choke. He has a long arm, and he's good at it. Good at the technique, and has the body which dynamic for it. So it's like, I know this guy's a wrestler. He's going to try to take him down. He will immediately go for it. For him, it's like second nature, So going to shoot on these guys, like even my coach, I had trained with my coaches who gave me luta libre black belt are Alejandro Pequeno and Diosdado Nogueira.
Okay.
They are very known, because luta libre guys are genuinely known for guillotine and leg locks, but these guys were known for the head attacks more. They have good leg locks, but they were known more for the guillotine and dorsal. And I have good wrestling, like especially if you compare me to other grapplers. I'm not saying I'm an Olympic level wrestler, but if you compare me with other grapplers,
I could feel it from your students.
Yeah.
That's true. One of the competitions, I will keep it in my mind. Make sure be very good at wrestling also.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I train with my coach, my luta libre coach is like, I don't want to go for his legs because the neck is like, I don't want to take him down like this. I will try to like go around it. Like I'll not try to shoot. No, it's too risky. And for him, it takes only one. Like from the first time, it's like game over. Like if he catches you on a guillotine, it's not like this guillotine is like, oh, there is a chance I'm gonna fight it. It's like.
For those who don't understand, there are so many words we have used. It's all from submission or from what we call from the sports. It's whole sports. One has to really take it seriously.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the sports, there's so much we can talk about.
It's
but
crazy.
when it comes to sports of jiu-jitsu, the thing is philosophy here. What kind of philosophy you handle it, Yani, for the foundation of your understanding, the principles which you use?
For me, for me,
it's just only for your, just for fun or entertainment, or you have something.
For me, look, when I started to teach jiu-jitsu, my intention was never, I never wanted to be that. I never thought I was going to be that guy who's teach people just for competition.
Yeah.
I wanted to get students into competition definitely and win, but I never expected to get the results that I was getting. The reason being is my philosophy of jiu-jitsu, grappling, martial arts, it should be translated to the MMA easily. The way I teach jiu-jitsu, I always call my style of grappling as MMA without striking. Everything I do, everything I teach is usable in MMA. I don't like to get I have example, jiu-jitsu today we have the worm guard. You're familiar with it? Like you pass the lapel under your leg and behind the other guy's lapel.
Yeah.
I know how to do this stuff. I know how to attack, but I don't want to specialize in it. For me, it's a waste of time because the reason I got into jiu-jitsu was to learn self-defense, was to learn how to become a better fighter, It wasn't to be just, this sport guy, Because I know a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, if they translate to MMA, if they transition to MMA, they will not be as successful. Like we've seen now recently, is not as successful as the Brazilian top team era, Carson Gracie era, when we have Minotauro, Nogueira, Murilo Bustamante, some of these guys who were world champions in jiu-jitsu but were doing really well in MMA as well, Paulo Filho, is because that time they were training, jiu-jitsu was much simpler and takedowns was a big part of the game. Today, unfortunately, jiu-jitsu lost that essence of takedown, the urgency to take down. People just are happy to sit and develop a great guard, but they spend almost no time on their takedowns.
I saw this with your one of the student who fought with me, and he did not go for ground till the end, I was waiting. Even for me, I had decided already before getting into mat that I'll take down. I told my coach, I'm gonna take down.
Okay.
So just follow me with that. And both of us are whole the session, the competition. What's all wrestling? We tried. Although he tried me on guillotine. And I realized there's something related to wrestling and judo, and many things are there.
I always say, like John Danaher said this, as a jiu-jitsu athlete, you'll not realize your potential unless you cross-train with other grappling styles. And that's something, before I hear this quote, this is me. Like this quote, I haven't said it, but I feel this quote is like my personality, my attitude towards grappling, I've trained with wrestlers, I've trained with jiu-jitsu guys, luta livre guys, catch wrestlers, take what works, I'm proud to be a jiu-jitsu black belt, I'm proud to be a luta livre black belt, I'm proud to have, trained Dagestan, wrestling in Dagestan with some of the best coaches in the world, and I actually was the coach for the Bahrain national team under 15 for freestyle wrestling, so... But, I like putting these all together and what works and what doesn't, Even when I teach MMA, it's very easy for me because my grappling is not limited to a certain area. It's not restricted just to the ground. There is wrestling, there's jiu-jitsu, and there is even the transitions between them. Catch wrestlers are very good in this, Something I picked up from my coach, Cameron Atakuro in Manchester. He's the guy I told you he has a catch wrestling background, and he was very good in the in-betweens. So he's not just good in wrestling and jiu-jitsu separately, but blending the transitions together. There are some like nuances that will help, that translate into each other, connect, in certain parts. It's not like, I just gonna learn wrestling, I'm just gonna learn jiu-jitsu, and then automatically you'll be good at blending them together. No, there are some details, some things that you can do that can help you for blending them seamlessly,